Chapter 712. Wilbur fell into a dilemma, hesitating for a long time. He felt like it would be better to analyze this energy and cultivate it in a safe way than contribute it as a sacrifice. Once he had understood the laws of this energy and cultivated it, he would be able to improve on it just like with other spiritual energy. There was endless potential, an infinite room to grow. Wilbur's spiritual furnace would be able to overcome the issue of the clashing of spiritual energies. All of a sudden, he thought of his second consciousness. His second consciousness was currently in the middle of analyzing the messages he had gotten after advancing levels. The information was quickly shared with Wilbur's host consciousness, and he was able to absorb all the new knowledge. He stopped for a long time before smiling. Upon the analysis of the second consciousness, Wilbur had now managed to comprehend how a few theories worked, giving him a whole new understanding of his powers. It seemed like those messages were about certain laws in the universe. The power of these laws was immense, of course. Cultivation at its core was to create different powers and energy flows following these laws to improve one's skill. These skills might seem all-powerful to regular people. However, it was far from easy to get to the true power of these laws. Wilbur seemed to have crossed this bridge and was beginning to come into contact with this power. A while later, he reached out towards the scepter of death, absorbing a tiny fraction of its deathly power and leaving it in his body. Yes, he was still able to take that much. Following that, Wilbur had his second consciousness begin to analyze the deathly power. He had decided to absorb this energy and cultivate with it. This was a whole new terrifying form of energy and was definitely worth possessing. Upon doing so, he left his demiplane and returned to his room, then began to ponder Lily's situation. The next morning, Wilbur came to Lily's room, knocking on the door. Lily had gotten up early that day, opening the door meekly to let Wilbur in. Wilbur sat down on the couch, and Lily stood to the side. "Come on. No need to be so formal. We can be like friends or siblings, but definitely not like you and Steven Gonzalez." Lily nodded quietly. Wilbur knew that Lily would not change so easily and did not say much either. "I'll teach you a cultivation method. You can practice with it. It's used to train your spirit energy. It might be of use to you." Wilbur had not been able to think of a good solution even after racking his brains the entire night. Yes, he would first let Lily cultivate her spirit energy. Once it was powerful enough, she might be able to summon those powers of hers on her own. Trial and error was the only way to go about these things. Lily nodded quietly. Wilbur then taught Lily how to cultivate her spirit energy using methods from his dragon's chant. He named this method Ultimate Meditation. Once Lily had finally memorized everything, he said, "Work hard to cultivate in the future. Don't hesitate to come to me if you run into any problems with cultivation. You can go to Faye if you have problems with your daily life, or you can go to Charles, the guy on the bridge." "Thank you," Lily said. Her head bowed. Wilbur got up and walked to the door. "There's nothing you have to worry about here. I don't need you to do anything. Nor do I want anything from you. I'm just curious about your powers. That's all. Also, I lost my parents when I was little too." He turned to leave after that. Lily stared after him for a long time before returning to her room and beginning to practice the ultimate meditation. Despite not knowing anyone or anything here, Lily felt a sense of security she had never really felt before.